After a 17-year silence, the Prime Minister addressed a packed press conference yesterday, denying any wrongdoing during her time at law firm Slater and Gordon. Joining us now is Opposition Leader Tony Abbott. Good morning to you, Mr Abbott.
Good morning, Lisa.
Well, the Prime Minister said she wanted to stop the slurs and spent an hour answering every question that came her way. Let's have a look at some of what she had to say.
For a number of months now, there has been a smear campaign circulating on the internet relating to events 17 years ago. Much of the material in circulation is highly sexist. The Australian newspaper commenced to report on a number of matters that I thought had been dealt with publicly before and which no wrongdoing by me was alleged. I am standing in front of you now as a 50-year-old woman. Have I learned a few things across my lifetime? Yes, I have, and I believe it is appropriate for me to deal with it. I am taking the opportunity to deal with related matters. I am answering all of your questions, and today is an end of it.
And Mr Abbott, she did answer every single question that came her way. Is that the end of it?
Well, I haven't had a chance to study the transcript. I'm sure lots of people will be studying the transcript. The point I've been making all along here, though, Lisa, is that whether or not she was an untrustworthy lawyer is not the issue. I think that this Prime Minister is an untrustworthy head of government, and my job is to hold the government to account. It's also to present a credible alternative. But as I said, lots of people will be looking at that transcript. They'll be coming to a position on whether these issues have now been put to bed, and let's see what conclusion they come to.
But Mr Abbott, you've always said that she has questions to answer on this matter. You wanted her to do that. Why would you not watch the press conference yourself?
Well, it was about half an hour or so before question time that it all happened. I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it. I haven't had a chance to read the transcript. I haven't had a chance to compare what has precisely been stated or is known to be a fact with what the Prime Minister said about it.
When are you planning on having a look at the transcript, or are you going to get others to do that for you?
I've got quite a lot of things on my plate.
But isn't this important? Given this has been such an issue in Australian politics for a long time, most particularly this week, isn't it important that you address this and either move on or ask more questions yourself?
Well, Lisa, the big issue this week, apart from the ongoing impact of the carbon tax, was BHP's decision to postpone the $30 billion expansion of the Olympic Dam mine. And that's 4,000 production jobs, it's 8,000 construction jobs, it's 13,000 associated jobs that aren't going to happen anytime soon. Now, this is a government which has turned, in BHP's words, a low-cost environment into a high-cost environment. Part of the reason for this is the government's new taxes. That's been my biggest concern. But
Marius Kloppers, the head of BHP, as we know now, did not say that it had anything to do with the carbon tax or the mining tax. He said it was about capital costs and the rising Australian dollar. Have you now read that report, that BHP report?
And I had read BHP's statement at 3:45
So why did you tell Lee
afternoon.
Sales on the 7:30 report that you hadn't read it?
Well, Lisa, I was denying something that was being attributed to Marius Kloppers. I wasn't actually saying I hadn't read it because I had read it.
But that was a direct question that she asked you. She said, have you read the report? And you said no.
There was a whole lot of rapid-fire accusations coming from Lee at the time.
That was pretty clear, Mr Abbott.
No. Look, I read the thing at 3:45. Why would I say I hadn't read it when I had? I was saying that she was wrong, what she was claiming about Marius Kloppers, because what the company's been saying all along is that things like the carbon tax just make it more difficult. I cannot overstate the level of concern BHP Chairman Jack Nasser said about the impact of new taxes and the uncertainty they're causing. Now, I don't say the carbon tax and the mining tax are wholly responsible for the cancellation of the expansion, but they all feed into the mix. They all help to make Australia a high-cost place to invest, and that means that we don't get the billions of dollars and we don't get the jobs. So as well as putting up families' cost of living, this is threatening the long-term future of our country. Now, that's been my concern this week.
But, Mr Abbott, we have $500 billion in the investment pipeline at the moment. More than half of that is at an advanced stage. You predicted that 45,000 jobs were going to go from mining-related industries. In fact, 49,000 jobs have been created during that time. Private sector investment in the economy during the current Labor government as a percentage of GDP is at its highest in 40 years. I mean, don't you think that the scare campaign that you're running is actually driving investment away?
Well, I am simply reflecting what is being said publicly by some of those big investors. The head of Glencore, the world's largest resources business, a month or so back in London, said that the carbon tax and the mining tax are certainly impacting. Look, at current commodity prices, at current Australian dollar values, at current cost structures here in Australia, new investment is very, very problematic. Sure, existing investment will go ahead, and the other interesting thing is, with the drop in commodity prices, with the drop in corporate profitability, that's going to do all sorts of damage to the government's budget and the surplus that they've promised us.
All right, Mr Abbott, we will have to leave it there. Before we go, the Wallabies by how many?
Look, it was a disappointing result last week. Let's hope it can be a big improvement.
Yeah, let's hope they've had a chat. Mr Abbott, we will leave it there. Thanks very much for your time this morning.
Good on you, Lisa.